Welcome to this week's episode of Movie in a Pod. I am Clyde Smith.
And I am Javier Villalobos.
On this week's episode, we are discussing the trailers for A Journal for Jordan, Death on the Nile, and our movie of the week, Eagle Eye. All right, guys. This week we have another guest. Good friend of mine, known for about 4 or 5 years now. How long has it been, James?
Yeah, about 5 or 6 years, something like that.
Good deal, man. Worked together, played hoops.
Okay,
bullshitted a lot.
You didn't play hoops. Let's be honest. Like, you came out to the basketball court. That was about it.
Well, sir, welcome to the pod, man. How are you doing today?
Happy to be here, man. Ready to have a good time tonight. Good
deal, man. So like we always do with when we have a guest, and I think these answers are going to be fantastic coming from this guy. I want to dig into a little get to know you before we hop into this week's episode. So provided you a few questions. I think Javi will start. We'll run through them real quick.
All right, James. What is your favorite movie, sir?
Favorite movie? Okay. That was kind of tough for me. You know, I can't really settle on one. So I'll do this. I'm going to say the Back to the Future trilogy. I just love everything about Back to the Future. If I hear Huey Lewis in the news, like, I'm already jazzed. Like, as soon as it starts playing, I already know what's going on. I love Back to the Future. Every single one of them. I'll say probably my favorite one is going to be Back to the Future 2, just because of all the cool things that, you know, happened in there with the shoes that everybody talks about that came out. Mm-hmm. I think all of that has been great. So big fan of Back to the Future. I love Michael J. Fox. Great series.
Dope, man. Let's move forward here. Who is your favorite actor?
Favorite actor's got to be Leo. I love Leo. Departed, you know, that's a killer movie. Crazy cast. Wolf of Wall Street, obviously, has been getting a lot of fame lately. You know, I'm in the industry, so I'm a big fan of it. That's right up my alley.
So Inception, that's your life every day, right? The Wolf of Wall Street, is that your life every day?
you got it.
Sorry,
you know,
James a lot more.
Except for the illegal stuff. I don't know if the SEC listens to you guys' podcast, so not the illegal stuff. But, you know, obviously, you know, he's got Inception. You know, I still feel like I might still be dreaming from that movie when I watch it. Like, that movie was fantastic to me. Super complicated, but I loved it. Make me think. That's a great movie. And then something that I feel like, you know, Leo's probably not getting enough credit for, and I just don't hear a lot of people talk about it, is Django. Like, he was Calvin Candy, and he was phenomenal in that role. I thought he was just amazing. And, you know, I never thought I would love a racist slave owner, but I love him in that movie. I just think he's my favorite character. I think he's phenomenal. Great job in that movie. I'm a big Leo fan.
What was your favorite decade for movies?
So this one I had to think about too. You know, 2000s. I'm a big Fast and Furious franchise fan. So, you know, strictly because family. That's why. You know, but after doing some thinking, I said,
sorry,
you know,
that's awesome. Only because, like, we pick on this movie so much, like this whole franchise, really Fast and the Furious.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I agree. It's ridiculous. But, you know, I watched that movie when I was in like the first one. It came out. Look at I graduated. I think I graduated high school at that point or something. And, you know, ever since then, it just had a special place in my heart. Me and my buddies from high school watched it. You know, the first one. And then, you know, a bunch of nonsense came out after that. But either way, you know, I still watch them. I still love the movies.
Me and Clyde make fun of Fast 9 a bunch, and we still went and saw it. Like, we were in the theater for it. So
Day one in theater for it. So.
Yeah, like, I'm okay if they're making them when, like, Vin Diesel's like 75 years old. Like, I'll still watch them.
Right.
Not so fast anymore, you know.
Oh man.
But back to my actual answer, because it's not the 2000s. It's actually going to be the 80s, because of all the great movies that came out in the 80s. Like, I was a kid in the 80s. You know, Ghostbusters. Yeah. Love Ghostbusters. Gremlins. Mm-hmm. You know, Goonies. Big with Tom Hanks. You know, Karate Kid. Breakfast Club. Stand By Me. Like, you name it. Like, I feel like everything came out in the 80s. Terminator. You know, any Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I mean, come on. You know, some
before the cocaine, right? 80s. Before the cocaine,
right? Yeah. 80s was a good time for me.
And obviously this is a pre-COVID question and everything, but what is your favorite movie theater to watch movies in the entire world, wherever the hell you've been?
COVID or no COVID, I'd still rather sit on my couch. So if it's not going to be on my personal couch, then I want to go to a theater. You know, they have the ones where you can basically lay down and whatnot. Like, I want one of those. Go sit down. And I say sit down, but I really mean lay down in one of their leather seats and just relax. I'll pay extra. It's fine. But as long as you can make me feel like I'm at the house, that's gonna be my best experience.
Well, knowing you as long as I've known you, that actually makes sense that it would be at your house, because you're always the guy who has to have the biggest television screen known to man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
On your wall with the best surround sound and everything. So it's basically a movie theater in your living room.
Yeah, so that's always kind of been a thing that I like. But my wife put the kibosh on that. Like, I have the stuff, but I never get to use it because my daughter is sleeping in the right down the hall from the theater room. So unless I buy another house, I can never use it.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's where I am right now in life.
Dad mode.
So what is your favorite movie snack?
Movie snack. I'm going to go with Goobers. And for those of you who don't know what that is, chocolate covered peanuts, that's a staple for me. If I go to the theaters, like I gotta have some Goobers. And I guess that probably stems from, when I was a kid, like my parents would get that when we go to the theater. And so it's just kind of always been something that I've always got. So if I go to the theater, I'm getting some Goobers, gotta have those. And then, obviously like popcorn and a drink and, be $50 lighter. So, that's kind of how it pans out.
Yeah. 100% $50 lighter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good deal. All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and move over here and talk about these trailers, man. I dropped you guys a few trailers. Let's first talk about A Journal for Jordan. Now, this movie starring Michael B. Jordan, directed by Denzel. We'll start with you, James. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, so watching this trailer, I think it's a really fascinating movie, and it kind of pulls at your heartstrings, because you see he's overseas, and the kid's growing up, and he's written this journal for the child, and that took me a while to figure out. By the way, I thought Jordan was the wife at first, but then ultimately figured out that Jordan was the child. But I just thought that was a good message, and the fact that LeBron's got his name on there, and Denzel's a part of it as well. That makes me want to support it more. I really don't get behind the movies that are lovey dovey like this, because there's a lot of hugging, a lot of kissing. But this one seems like it's going to be going to have a good story behind it, and I'd be willing to give this one a shot, even though I don't normally watch those, but I'm sure my wife will make me.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Hav, like James so eloquently put, we're not big fans of this type of pull at your heartstrings drama, but what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, on the same lines, I'm guessing maybe he's writing this journal, he's cataloging these lessons and stories, maybe because he's on deployment, he doesn't know if he's going to be going home to his kid or not. So there's a whole other level of the love story between his wife and his kid and him, is now we have something that a lot of people can relate to in our country that are deployed and out, away from their families. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give this one a shot myself.
Hey guys, let's go ahead and talk about the Kenneth Branagh. I always mispronounce his name. Branagh. He was.
I'm glad it's you first this time.
He was phenomenal in the movie Tenet as the bad guy. But we have Death on the Nile. It is comes out in February. Let's talk about it, Javi.
Watching through this, I got a strong Clue feeling.
Yeah. Fantastic movie, by the way.
Basically, Clue on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a whole lot to the trailer as far as details about whatever. It's just, they're on the boat, there's a murder, and apparently multiple murders, and they're trying to figure out who the killer is on the boat. Nothing too deep, I didn't feel. But
I think you nailed it.
We have Hercule Poirot is the guy that he does. And he's a
Poirot.
Yeah, see, I messed it up there, so I'm just all over the place. I can't get this guy's name right at all. But a famous character from a bunch of Agatha Christie novels. You remember back in 2017, wow, already four years ago, Kenneth directed Murder on the Orient Express, also him as Hercule Poirot, where there's a murder occurs and he's there to solve it.
Gosh.
I know, I'm just butchering, man. James, give me your thoughts, man.
That's awful. Hercule Poirot, and I will deliver your killer. That's how he says it, man. Get it right. Come on. Get your French
I will
up.
one of these days.
I'm going to cut that and put it over every time you say it wrong, Clyde. You're fantastic.
Please do. Please do. Yeah, but this is an interesting movie. Like, I like the solving, trying to solve who the killer is and all that. Like, I watch all those silly shows that come on TV where it's some sort of murder mystery. I watch all of them. So for me, this one seems like one I might give a shot to. Would I go and see it in the theater? Probably not. But if it's on HBO, I'd definitely watch it, or Redbox or something like that. I'd grab it because now I kind of want to know who it is. And the cast is a pretty good cast. So a bunch of great actors, and then actors and actresses. And then Russell Brand, for some reason, I thought that was pretty interesting.
I saw that on
It's like,
IMDb.
why is he in this
He
movie?
plays a doctor. He plays a doctor in this movie.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Who's the casting director for this? Like, I don't understand.
I hope his hair is all teased up
Oh,
as well.
So you're right, man. This does have a fantastic cast. Armie Hammer, Gal Gadot, Kenneth Branagh, Russell Brand, Letitia Wright. It's got some good people in here, man. I think this is going to be another slick, sexy whodunit like Murder on the Orient Express, but I think he just ups his game here. Really surprised that it got a sequel, being Death on the Nile. And me and my wife, we saw it back in theaters back in 2017, so we'll definitely be in the theater for this one. Maybe not for A Journal for Jordan unless she drags me, but we'll definitely be in the theater for Death on the Nile. All right, gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and hop in and discuss this week's movie. We have Eagle Eye. This movie dropped in theaters in 2008. Fantastic year for movies. Now, I know it sounds like I say that each and every week, but you got to hear this list, guys. Role Models, The Happening, 7 Pounds, 21, Step Brothers, The Strangers, Jumper, Semi-Pro, Valkyrie, another Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Body of Lies. That's a good one. Wanted, and the funniest real life comedy of all time, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Right? If you haven't seen this movie,
Yes.
right? That is a real life comedy, how breakups happen, man. I love that movie. All right, so Eagle Eye is directed by DJ Caruso. It's got a large writer's room. We got John Glenn, Travis Adam Wright, Hilary Seitz, and Dan McDermott.
This one came in with a budget of $80 million and hit the box office for $178.8 million.
That's when Shia was on fire, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he
Oh,
was.
yeah. So starring in this movie, we got Shia LaBeouf as Jerry Shaw / Ethan Shaw. He plays twins. Michelle Monaghan as Rachel Holloman. Julianne Moore as the voice of the computer system in the movie. Rosario Dawson as Zoe Perez. Michael Chiklis as George Callister. Anthony Mackie as Major William Bowman.
Hands and everything, Anthony Mackie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Ethan Embry as Toby Grant. Billy Bob Thornton as Tom Morgan. And Cameron Boyce as Sam Holloman.
Go ahead and give us a quick synopsis, sir.
So Jerry Shaw gets his life turned upside down after the loss of his twin brother. A mysterious woman starts to manipulate Jerry and many others using all the tech available
Let's go.
to achieve her mission of assassinating some government targets, but the Falcon's there to make sure that it doesn't happen.
Let's go. I love it. Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Let's go ahead and dive into this plot, gentlemen. We have, this kid, he's down on his luck, left Stanford, brother dies, is being talked to by some really sexy sounding woman on the other line, right? And he has no clue who the hell it is. But he has to listen to her the entire time.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, and something that in my movie history I've never seen before. You have to obey this person the entire time. Talk to me, James.
Yeah, so first off, just realized Julianne Moore was the voice, so thanks for letting me know that. I was trying to find her in the movie the whole time. I was like, where is she? I know she's in here somewhere. Couldn't figure it out. Glad I know that she was the voice the whole time. The way that it works is just it's so potentially real, maybe, because the way I look at it is, I've got an Alexa, I've got a Google. How do I know this isn't, there's not going to be a voice that's just going to come out there one day and tell me that I need to go and, shoot a government official. How do I know that's not going to happen to me?
If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Alexa that does that.
Yeah, 100% Alexa. Another piece of it that really bothers me is if this were to happen to me and she's calling on the phone, like, I have it where if I don't have the phone number saved in my phone, it's not going to ring. So I would just be screwed immediately because I wouldn't answer the phone. And so whatever was going to happen to me would just happen. So that, that aspect of it was pretty interesting for me personally. But I do think it is, pretty incredible how we have this guy who works at Pop Copy, basically Copy Cabana.
Cabana,
Let's go.
And here he is basically having to take on this, this major action, with some people he doesn't know, and so many things have to fall in place so perfectly to make it work out. It's just pretty amazing to see how a lot of those things worked out, but could really see the passion that he had for his brother, even though they mentioned he doesn't spend a lot of time with him. Some of the things that he mentions, like one part really got me, where he talks about how his brother would do things to make him look good, and then just make sure he got the credit for it. He just like never asked him for anything, and so when I heard him say that, I was like, okay, it's pretty clear what his motivation is. Like he wants to make sure that he's going to clear his brother's name and make sure that at the end of the day, his brother comes out with a clean record and being who he really was, being a true hero that he felt that he was.
Was it just me, or you're watching this and the entire time before you get to know that it's actually like Julianne Moore, like the AI, right? It doesn't ruin the movie, guys, but it is something that is big. I feel like this is like the best agency or a group of terrorists known to man, to be able to, like, I'm watching this and I'm just like, how are you controlling all of this stuff and video camera, right? And you just know how this crane operates, and just when the crane smashes through the FBI building, you're like, what the hell is going on here? What I really enjoyed about this movie was just seeing Shia LaBeouf in all this action, right? And all of these action sequences, and you almost have to suspend disbelief, honestly, right? This kind of can really never happen. Well, never say never, Clyde, but you feel like the voice has like the God's eye, and she's just all knowing. The God's eye from Fast and the Furious 47, actually, right?
Exactly.
There you go. I'm there. I am there.
Let's go ahead and jump into these characters, guys. We do have Shia LaBeouf as Jerry and Ethan Shaw. Talk to me, Javi.
Brothers, twins. So we see Jerry, he gets all this information fed to him that his brother's up to something. His brother was in something. His brother was a terrorist. That's what they thought, because all this stuff that ends up at his house and all this mess. But the whole time, he never convinced that that's who his brother was. He's going through all this stuff because he, really doesn't have a choice without listening to the computer. Like I said, the whole time, he's just, that's not my brother. I don't know what's going on. I didn't do this. What's happening? Why is this stuff being pinned on my brother? And he never lets up from that. We find out later on in the movie that his twin, Ethan, at first I thought he just had an accident, right? So that's what we all thought. It was just an accident. He died. So all this stuff started happening for whatever reason it was happening. Then we find out, he was murdered. Spoilers. Like I said, he just never lets up, and he finds out that he wasn't a bad guy, and he was actually doing whatever he could to get this secret out.
He had a North Star, right? He had a compass, and that compass was trying to figure out, one, what the hell his brother was involved in, to clear his name. You're right. Jerry's the Stanford dropout. Very quick-witted, man. I love that opening scene with the guys when they're playing poker, and he's just very quick-witted, right? Gets the guy to fold or whatever. Very dope scene there. But he lands all this money, as you see, and then he has all that crap in his apartment, and you're like, whoa, this is not the guy who was just at Pop Copy, right? Copy Cabana, whatever it's called. I'm using Pop Copy now. Thank you.
Out there hustling in the back of Copy Cabana.
Is he a terrorist? Is he not a terrorist? Like, what's going on here? And then this random phone call happens, which kind of throws us off for a loop where we're just like, okay, this movie was kind of boring at first. Now it's interesting. Let's go. So... Very interesting, man. Let's go ahead and move over to Michelle Monaghan as Rachel Holloman. James, talk to me, man.
You look at when all of this is kind of going on, and I thought this was kind of interesting. So I feel like it's just her and her kid. Like, that's all she's got. He's the only thing that matters to her. You don't see her call, like, I could be mistaken, but I don't remember her calling her mom or, you know, a brother or sister or anything like that the whole time. You know, her ex-husband shows up who's, you know, a dirtbag, basically, forgets a kid's birthday. You know, so you could tell, like, he's all that matters to her. And, you know, this whole thing, no matter what she's got to go through, no matter, you know, who she's got to get through or, you know, who she's got to take out, basically, she's willing to do whatever she has to do to make sure that her kid is okay at the end of the day and that, you know, the both of them get to go home. So, you know, it's seen pretty easily that she's willing to do whatever she's got to do, you know, without giving any spoilers. It's pretty apparent that she's willing to do what she's got to do to keep her kid okay.
Yeah,
yo, man, she is the Harrison Ford, and after Harrison Ford, there was Die Hard. Who's the guy from Die Hard? I can't. His name's not coming up right now. Bruce Willis, right? Where it's like right person at the wrong time, right? Where like she's in this mix, and she's just a very normal, just like Jerry, but she's a very normal individual. She's an $11 an hour paralegal, right? Who's a single mom, and she's in the position where, well, for my son, who I have to save now, I have to do X, Y, and Z, and I have to go through this mission, and I have to pick up him in a Porsche Cayenne stick that I can't drive. You know, she was terrible at that.
At all.
Yeah,
No hesitation at all, right?
No hesitation, just getting it done.
And she just goes through this process and goes through these motions and goes through this movie, and she is that Die Hard type character where it's just like, okay, I guess I got to do this, right? I don't really want to. I make $11 an hour. Like, what the hell? I don't have any of these skills. But when she takes the shotgun and like shoots the sky at the security guards or whatever, she meant business right there. How she picked up the case and was like, "We got to finish this mission," right? Like she turned into a badass at that point, right? And that's the great acting that Michelle Monaghan brings, man. Really. Definitely enjoy her in this role.
So speaking of those you know, armor car drivers, like, are we going to be talking about how ridiculous the cops are throughout this movie and how they're just willing to sacrifice anybody's life at any time?
Very careless.
For
very careless.
Whatever. I mean, they were just shooting at her after she did that, and it smashes a person's car just driving by. Like, there's so much collateral damage in this movie. Like, are you kidding me?
Like, there's so much collateral damage, bro. Just the Porsche Cayenne scene.
Oh my god! Like, whatever you guys are trying to do, you've already committed the terrorist act by chasing the people. You killed off 1,000 people.
Like, you got two people that are shooting into a crowd. The cops show up, or the two armored truck bodyguards are shooting into this crowd, and the cops show up, and they're just like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "They stole from us," and they just take off that way. Like, just took the word of these two guys fired into a crowd.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I really am going to jump into that when we get to Billy Bob Thornton and just him, as far as just like ridiculous like cop FBI behavior, but straight trash is the police in this movie. Okay, police FBI just straight trash in here. So
all right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. So I was watching the Tomorrow War again.
Bro, okay.
And-
Bro, have you heard of the action movie rule of Chris?
All right. Here we go. What are you talking about, Clyde?
Okay. The action movie rule of Chris. Every Chris is a bona fide action movie star. You gotta hear me out here, bro.
Let's go.
You are a movie star, living in Hollywood, doing your thing, and your name is Chris, you're an action star. Dude, check this out. Chris Evans, Captain America, Snowpiercer, Cellular, The Losers, Hemsworth, the Australian guy, 6'4", right? Thor, Black Hat, Extraction, Snow White and the Huntsman, Red Dawn. He got a bullet to the head in Red Dawn. Can't forget that, but still an action star.
And those golden locks.
Those golden locks. Pratt, right? Christopher Pratt. The Tomorrow War. There's one you were just watching. Star-Lord, Jurassic World, The Magnificent Seven, Zero Dark 30. This dude killed, shot, took out Bin Laden. Just amazing. Okay? Got my man Chris Pine.
Yeah.
He played opposite Wonder Woman. He was in Star Trek, The Finest Hours, Shadow Recruit, and Smoking Aces. Super weird in Smoking Aces, but action-packed movie star, okay?
Sometimes we gotta get weird.
Gotta get weird sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you got Christopher Ludacris Bridges, okay? This dude's an action star because he was in literally all 35 of the Fast and Furious movies. Just every single one of them, right? See, your name is Chris. You kick butt and take names. Oh, let's not even forget about Chris Farley. Have you ever seen Beverly Hills Ninja?
Oh, multiple times.
Action, and more action, bro. Talk to me, man. Who's your favorite, Chris?
I'll say right up front, obviously Farley is the GOAT.
No doubt.
Get that out the way. But for this current generation of Chris's, I'll have to go with the God of Thunder, man. He does it all for me, but not in a weird way most of the time.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, dude. So I actually have like a lot more Chris's to run through, dude. Let's go ahead and hit it, man.
Clyde,
what's up?
Clyde, I'm going to go ahead and land this plane for us. All right, guys, hit us up with your favorite Chris and the movie you enjoyed him in. And you know the socials, Movie in a Pod on Facebook and at Movie in a Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
We have Rosario Dawson as Air Force Inspector Investigator Zoe Perez, a U.S. Air Force investigator. She's out to prove what happened with Jerry, trying to investigate Ethan, see if there's a connection, if there's not a connection. She's just tasked with finding the truth, man. James, dive in a little bit, man.
Yeah, so, she shows up and starts talking to the agent, and basically at first, like, they don't want to be on the same page. They don't necessarily want to share information and all this, and I can't tell you this or I can't tell you that. So they're getting nowhere, and here you are, you got this Copy Cabana kid in custody for terrorist acts. Which honestly, if I'm like somebody with some power and I hear that this is what's going on, somebody's going to be demoted to something that's going to involve touching crap with your hands. Like, basically.
That's my favorite line of the movie, by the way, guys.
Best line of the entire movie.
Best line, yeah.
But if I see the way that they've been working on this thing, like, that's where I'd be at with them. But yeah, so she's working hard trying to get that information, trying to get that intel so that they can, ultimately figure out what the heck's going on. And she's really the first one to really, realize what's happening and really solving the case where, Billy Bob Thornton's out there shooting at basically everybody,
just running around with a gun, like
just shooting, indiscriminately, just shooting. So
I feel like he closes his eye, like he covers his face and just fires into the crowd.
He's firing. Just constantly.
He really does. He really does that.
Let's talk about the star from the movie, the show, The Shield. Michael Chiklis, George Callister, Secretary George Callister. What are your thoughts, Javi?
We see this guy all over the place, right? He's everywhere as well. As far as his character, according to the supercomputer, he's the one that's the computer sees fit to run the country after, all the other cabinet members, which I guess, says something about his personality when he's trying to make decisions. He's trying to make decisions for the right reasons and not just, to take out some people or to hopefully hit his target. Maybe, you know, he wants to know for sure. For sure, he's making the right decision before he makes it. Computer chose him. Kind of weird thing to say, right?
Was it just me? And you guys might have never seen or watched the show The Shield. I think it was on FX, but I probably watched like maybe a half a season of this guy on The Shield, Michael Chiklis, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what he's most famous for. And that's all I know him from, really. And that's the only thing I can see. So no matter what he does in his life...
You just see him as like...
The Shield.
He is the dude from The Shield. And he's like this hardened, badass cop who's going to go out and do everything. So, like, to see him very reserved in this movie was very difficult for me, man. He was reserved. He was, like, reserved. He was chill, presidential. If Project Guillotine went off, you know what I mean? But to not see him, like, throw somebody up against a wall and, like, plant drugs on him, I was like, dude, this is a different guy, man. But,
who's this guy? I'm like,
I don't like how this guy's acting right now. But no, I think out of everybody in this movie, in a very small role, it's not a big role for Michael. He doesn't have a lot of screen time, but what Chiklis does is prove to the viewers, us, that, you know, there's this stigma that like government is bad, right? And they're out to just for themselves and everything. But he kind of proves, and he's kind of telling the story where, like, no, government can actually be good and actually can think and actually get it right. And just like you said, Javi, like, he definitely displays that through his demeanor. It was weird. It was weird watching him in this role, but I thoroughly enjoyed him at the same time. Let's move over to the Mac Man, Anthony Mackie. He is literally in everything. I don't know who's more harder working. Who works harder? I can't talk tonight. Samuel Jackson or Anthony Mackie? What do you guys think?
That's a tough one. I mean,
it depends on what year you're talking about.
I was about to say, I think Samuel Jackson's probably worked longer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if we're talking about 20 years ago, you know, Sam all day. But, you know,
let's talk about the last 20 years.
He's just living off of royalty checks now.
Bro. He spends. Samuel Jackson spends 5 minutes as Nick Fury. That's $3 million right there.
Yep.
Awesome, man. But he didn't have a big role in this. But James, what were your thoughts about this character, man?
Yeah, real important role. You know, he kind of opens everything up to have them kind of figure out, you know, what was actually happening and see that Ethan was, you know, trying to signal them to let them know something was up and where to go to get the information. And once they were kind of able to figure that out, that's when you realize what was really going on. And I know when I first watched the movie, like, mind blown, like, boom, like, what in the world? Right. No way that's what's been happening all this time. Like, not a chance. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, for real? Because, you know, this is 2008. You know, that wasn't something that you ever think of. You know, now I see it, I was like, oh yeah, that could totally happen to me tomorrow. So, but you know, in the time, you know, it was not
all
like
because
that
of
at
this
all.
phone, right?
Yeah, 1000%, all because of that phone. So yeah, his role and you know, the impactfulness of, you know, what he did, I thought was a really important part. And, you know, he just really opened it up for me. I don't think anybody would have done it. You know, the way that he delivered, I thought was for the best.
Anthony Mackie is the man, dude. One of my favorite actors. He's just fantastic at what he brings, and it was very believable to be like, oh yeah, 2 seconds into this film, that's Morse code. It's got to be, right? Yeah. Why does he keep walking around? And he's writing it down, right? It's very believable because he brings it. If it's anybody else, you're like, it took you really quickly to do that, man. Easy. But Mackie's just exactly there. So, and the man who brought us into Eagle Eye this week, our pullover, we have Billy Bob Thornton. Last week he was on our episode, The Judge, and we got him this week as FBI Special Agent Tom Morgan. Talk to me, JV.
Yeah, his role last week as a lawyer was, you know, he does his thing for that. This week he's an FBI agent, which would be kind of the same, but he's very over the top. He's a very over the top FBI agent.
Oh yeah,
you know, he's sitting across from Jerry, and he's exaggerating everything. He's being real hard on him. And, you know, when he was playing that lawyer, he was real chill and kind of creepy. right? But yeah, he delivers a lot of the best lines in the movie, like you said earlier, James. And I found him a real strong part of this movie, keeping moving and being entertaining, because you never knew what he was going to do. You never knew what, smart ass thing he was going to say next. And without him being that way, it would have never pushed the movie like it did, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
have Rachel and Jerry kind of, if you split it between like two movie production team, right? They're the first production team and they're the bulk of the movie. That's why they have to push forward there. But Billy Bob Thornton and Ethan Embry, who's his FBI sidekick, Ward, I guess, they're basically like the second unit team. So they always come up and see the aftermath of everything that happens, right? So you're watching it happen in real time with Jerry and Rachel, and you're getting an explanation of what the hell just happened with Tom Morgan. And Tom Morgan the whole time is just loud, boisterous, obnoxious, but just also it's Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, who didn't love this man in Friday Night Lights, right? He brings that like southern deep accent to this movie and makes it tries to make some sense out of this, right? It's so much awkward and crazy, over the top 2008 crap happening now, right?
Yeah.
And he brings this. All right, this shit has to make sense somehow, right? Like, how do we really put this in a box and figure this out? Like, how am I going to write this on my FBI report at the end of the day, right? Like, and that's kind of that's what he kind of brings to it, right? He's just always trying to figure it out and be like, dude, this is wild. Like, how the hell did this crane pick this Porsche Cayenne up and move it? Please, somebody get to the bottom of it, right? And just the way that he treats all the other lower level FBI agents, man, the entire movie, fantastic. Get to work.
Yeah, get to work.
It's like this dude firing his gun at anybody and everybody, right? You talked about the security guards. He didn't care at all. How are you through an entire airport, bro? Right? Gun in the air. After 9/11, by the way, this is 2008. After 9/11, gun in the air, FBI agent, bro. Ain't nobody's going to believe you. What if one of us did that right now? Nope. Nobody would believe that we're an FBI agent.
So I don't know if you noticed this in the movie, but the people that the Eagle Eye Aria chose to do some of the action, did she choose a black dude to do something?
She did not. I don't think so.
I mean, I was just thinking, because, when old boy pulls out the gun in the Kennedy Center in front of all those major people and, shooting off in the air, and he gets shot 2 times, is able, to walk away. I feel like if he was a black guy, he would not have gotten shot 2 times.
That would have been a headshot, bro. That would have been a headshot.
Yeah.
Like 700 headshots. Like even Arya knows better than that. She says, "You know what? I can't." James Lenoir, no, I can't pick that guy.
I don't feel like that scene escalated as much as it should have.
It should have.
There's a 2% probability that James Lenoir will make it out of this alive, right?
Yeah.
That's not the one. That's not the guy we need. We need to find somebody else. He's not the one.
Oh man! But
speaking of Arya, though, like I don't want to step on it. So you go ahead. If we give me some time to talk about Arya,
of course, man. You go right ahead, man. Talk to us.
So let's just look at this. So in the beginning, she's upset. She says abort. It's an abort recommendation to do the drone shot. 51% chance. She's not okay with that. She says abort. They don't listen. That makes her upset. That's when she determines that she needs to go into Operation Guillotine. Okay, I get it. So, how many people died from that drone shot? Was it like a dozen? It's like a dozen people.
Funeral, bro.
Maybe like a dozen. All right, so call it 30 people at this funeral. Call it 50. Call it 50 people at the funeral. How many people do you think that Arya killed? Like, I mean, government officials alone. She killed a whole bunch of government officials. And then she was shooting drone missiles in a tunnel. Like, are you kidding me? You know how many people got killed during that? I mean, she needs to be attacking herself because she's the real problem. It's not the government official. Like, she's the one killing everybody.
On that, I agree.
Like, when does the paradox kick in for the machine to say, at what point is there too much collateral damage to where this doesn't make any sense anymore?
Hey man, anything for peace, bro. Anything for peace, man. She's peacemaker before peacemaker, okay?
At the end of the movie, I had to sit there for a second and just kind of think to myself, what did I just see?
Yeah. And then she was about to blow up that whole place full of kids and other politicians and everybody. Hundreds of people in this one location.
For the greater good, okay? That's what it's about.
So the secretary she thinks should be the president, but, the other people that were in the succession, they didn't get an interview. So how does she know that somebody else shouldn't get to be the president or should be the president? Because she didn't, didn't see what the, the Minister of Agriculture, they might have some good morals too. You don't know. They just completely skip them. They didn't get an interview at all. That seems. I feel like HR needs to step in on that one.
So I think you're forgetting, right? She's all knowing. She knows everything about Ethan and Jerry. She knows everything about Rachel's character, right? She knows everything about Rachel's kid. She knows everything because everybody has a cell phone, everybody has cameras and stuff like that. So she already has dissected all of this information and says, you from the Shield, hey, bald guy, you're going to be president, bro, okay? So stick in this damn room. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to kill everybody else. And once they all dead, I'm going to pop this lock. And we good. That was her plan, right? Mm-hmm. That was her elegant, elaborate plan there.
Yeah. You're going to be the president of nothing because I'm going to kill everybody else in the world.
But I do want to say, Julianne Moore as that voice, real, scary almost, right? Because she is very, firm. Obviously, she's playing a computer, but for the first, hour and a half, you have no clue. And you're just damn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to listen to this chick because she can kill me at any moment. She did a fantastic job just as that voice role, man. Guys, real quick, sets, music, and style. I got a quick note, and then I'm going to jump to you guys, starting with Javi. This movie, to me, looks like a copycat of a Michael Bay movie. Ask me which one, guys. If
it includes Shia LaBeouf holding something and running a lot, I know which one you're talking about.
My notes say all of them, right? My notes say literally any Michael Bay movie, right? The music and the style of this film screams Bayhem. So more explosions, more shit blowing up. Wait, that's not enough. We have to go back and reshoot because we need more explosions, guys, right? Yeah. I need shotguns. I need police everywhere, right? I need dope ass music. This is a Michael Bay movie, not directed by Michael Bay. It looks like DJ Caruso literally said, you know what? The only way we can do this is if I copy this guy. And that's exactly what he did. All the fast cuts, epic over the top music, and just white dudes in suits, man, right? Everywhere. Talk to me, Javi.
Every one of them. Yeah, I mean, you didn't say anything I wouldn't say. We see a lot of, beautiful city. We see a lot of destroyed city at the same time. All the scenes flow. It's all flowing real fast. They're in a subway. They're on a bus. Then they're on foot. Then they're in a van. Then they're doing this. So we don't really sit in one setting too long.
Yeah.
Right? It's constantly moving the whole time, and it's always pretty close up on them. Sets were all right. I don't know how, believable riding a baggage claim thing through a big warehouse is, if that works that way. But and then Billy Bob just shooting everything and nothing stops working ever. But, aside from that, I mean, everything was all right. Music, like you said, it just kind of flows through. I didn't really pay that much attention to the music going through the movie because there was always so much going on.
Their explosions were so loud.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how'd you even hear them?
It's just always something going on. Concentrating on the movie, not really listening to the music much.
We're gonna jump over here to the theme. We try to pinpoint every week a theme, and the theme basically revolves around what the director, what the writers, what the producer, what the actors, what they're trying to say, right? Are they trying to tell us something about this movie, or is just a turn your brain off and basically watch this weird ass plot unfold. And this movie kind of falls in line with that, man. I couldn't really pinpoint a theme. Scared of technology back in 2008, right? Like
technology's going to take over.
I remember seeing this movie in theaters and like going home was like, yeah, I'm going to sleep with my cell phone off tonight, guys, right? I don't, whatever I don't want to know my sleep pattern or how much I snore and everything. That's weird for me, right? So I definitely didn't want that to happen. But no, man, like I said it earlier, and I'll probably say it again, man, but you just have to like suspend all disbelief for this one. It's just a wild ride. And I think they were just trying to show you this crazy ass wild ride, man. There was nothing they're really trying to tell. So what about you, James? What were your thoughts on the theme or anything, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit a lot of that, right on the head. You said you don't feel good about, you had to turn your phone off or whatever when you went home that day. For me, that movie told me what I already knew. It's like, okay, yeah, I know they can watch me, they can do whatever they want with it, all of my stuff. It just is what it is. I can, freak myself out about it, or just know that if, robots decide to take over, we're gonna die. It just is what it is. If that happens, like if Arya decides to become real and do this stuff, like, yeah, we're just gonna get blown up, Michael Bay style, no question. Like, at least, yeah, exactly. Just hopefully, you get to go out in a huge, exciting explosion. If at least you don't want to go out with something lame, but this movie was, just like you said, all that action, and the theme is probably something around technology and how it can how they can impact things. But at the end of the day, it's hard to even think about any of that stuff when all that was going on. I mean, they flew a drone into a tunnel, guys, like a drone in a tunnel.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
shooting missiles. So all that action going on, all those. Yeah. All those special effects, like, you could try to show me a theme, or you could try to show me, some other thing, but I'm not going to catch any of it because there's too much.
Yeah, man, agreed. All right, James, man, thanks for coming on the pod tonight, brother. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I had an absolute blast. This was crazy fun. I really enjoyed kind of discussing this movie with you guys. To be honest with you, as far as the movie goes, when I first watched it, I was kind of like, it is okay. But after this, I like it even more. Nice. So, good time, good talking.
Getting somebody else's perspective on it, man. That's what kind of we love about this pod is me and Javi, we've seen a bunch. It's my movie buddy right there, right? If I'm not going with my wife to the movies, I'm going with Javi. We'll go with our wives, but we'll always like break down and talk about movies, and that's why we kind of started this pod. It was like, yo, let's just mindlessly talk into a mic about our favorite movies and some that we don't like. And see what happens, right? Let's just put it on the interwebs and see what happens. So, man, we definitely appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
All right, brother. You have a good night, man. All right, team. Once again, thanks to James Lenoir for joining the pod today. It was great to have him on. Guys, that was Eagle Eye. Javi, talk to me, man. What were your thoughts about this movie?
I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5 buckets.
Talk to me, man.
It was a fun movie to watch. I don't know if it has a very big rewatchability factor to it, because now that I've seen it, there's no, I don't feel like there's a real reason for me to watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it like, oh man, I need to watch this movie another time because I didn't understand really what happened and I missed a lot of stuff. I don't feel like it's that kind of movie. Yeah, I watched it, I enjoyed it, but I will probably not be rewatching. What about you, man?
If you enjoy mindless fun, this is a movie for you, man. If you just like seeing a B Michael Bay movie, I mean, yeah, it's. I really liked Shia LaBeouf and how he kind of was that everyman with Michelle Monaghan's character. They were the everyman, every woman, just trying to kind of get through this because they had goals in mind. But other than that, man, it was loud, it was boisterous, it was over the top at times. Plot was crazy. And like, if you want to turn your brain off and have fun, yeah, this is a movie for you here. But for me, Man, I'm right there with you, man. This actually gets like 2.5 buckets of popcorn for me, man. And that half is only because like Billy Bob Thornton just every scene that he's in, he's just fun, man. He's just fun and he's hilarious. And you're just kind of seeing the cleanup and after the fact through his eyes, and he's just like, what the hell just happened, guys, right?
Right.
And how he acts that out on screen is just fun, so. Thank you for subscribing to this week's episode, Talking Through Eagle Eye. Next week, we'll be discussing the Jamie Foxx-led action flick, Sleepless.
That is streaming on Netflix.
I am Clyde Smith. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as I am Clyde D. Smith.
I'm Javier Villalobos. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J8200.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.